My next two guests can help us get to the bottom of this. Joining us now is senior staff writer with our partners at The Hill, Alex Bolton. He wrote the article, "Musk Shocks Lawmakers, Setting Himself on Collision Course." And also joining us is Dennis Kneale. He is host of What's Bugging Me podcast, and he's the author of The Leadership Genius of Elon Musk. He's also the former managing editor at Forbes. Great to have both of you here. Alex, you wrote in your article for The Hill that Musk is on a collision course with lawmakers, and it's not just Democratic lawmakers who are concerned about Musk's power. You say Republican lawmakers are worried too.
Yeah, they are questioning Musk's authority. You mentioned that Musk is a special government employee, but they're wondering what is the basis of his authority to take such bold steps as shuttering USAID, the nation's premier foreign assistance agency. That is something that some Republican lawmakers are warning could hurt national security. Roger Wicker, the chairman of the Armed Services Committee, he argues that USAID is meant to compete with China's Belt and Road Initiative. In addition, USAID funds programs to essentially push back on Chinese development all around the world, South America, the Far East, Asia Pacific. And so the Republicans are questioning Musk's acumen in terms of understanding the policies and the programs that he's cutting. They think he's flying blind. Also, reports that is the team that gained access to the Treasury payment system that have helped him shutter AID, that is now reaching into other agencies. They're made up of fairly young engineers from Silicon Valley.
We're going to get to that. You're getting ahead of me. We're going to get to that in a second. But you raise an important point. China has an equivalent of USAID. They've been making inroads in countries that are rich in natural elements and minerals, building them roads, building them hospitals. China is exercising its soft power. And if we just shut down USAID, the United States stops competing.
Can I get in here?
Yeah, I'll get to you in just a second, Dennis.
It's more than just soft power. China is trying to build the telecommunications network of the future around the world that poses a serious threat to U.S. surveillance capabilities. What have we spent the past week doing? Arguing about Tulsi Gabbard on Capitol Hill serving as DNI. Once the U.S. loses access to the world's telecommunications infrastructure around the world, which China right now is trying to actively build, the U.S. will be in second place to China on national security, foreign intelligence. It's a big deal and something that Republican lawmakers are growing increasingly concerned about.
Dennis, what do you make of all this? That, this point that Musk doesn't understand all the implications of what he's doing.
Here's the thing. Musk understands how systems work. It's how he put together a rocket that he wants to take to Mars, right? It's how he totally re-engineered the Tesla car to be the first EV ever that's really great. Who cares whether it uses gas or it doesn't? It's just a great car. Look, what he said this publicly. The reason they went after USAID first is because they started looking at which agencies are violating the presidential orders that are freezing spending and are just continuing to spend, and it was USAID. And while it might have some good causes that it pursues, and nothing says they can't go with zero-based budgeting, start over and go there, they also are known to be funding CIA-related activities. Mike Benz of Mike Benz Cyber, a former Intel spook, says, yeah, anything too dirty for the CIA, USAID does. They're spending millions of dollars on LGBTQ and trans agenda when they're just a tiny minority of the population here, and especially even less overseas. They're not pursuing America. Secretary of State Marco Rubio just said they are just kind of doing their own thing for the global interest, and it's all graft and it's all grift. And
I think there are a lot of people who take issue that it's all graft and all grift. Dennis,
well,
that seems to be a sweeping.
A lot of that stuff is graft and grift. You're sending stuff, for an LGBTQ play in Brazil. No, that's just a
okay, like that was 16 grand, yes, but, okay, nobody wants to pay for that, but,
Hello, tip, meet iceberg. It's tip of the iceberg. Look,
okay.
Elon believes, I set out 11 lessons in my book, The Leadership Genius of Elon Musk, and lesson 2 is reduce, reduce, reduce. He cuts back on everything, everywhere, except women and children. He cuts back on, and the Tesla has 10,000 parts. A Ford has 40,000. He sold all 7 of his homes. He wants to reduce everything, and he's doing it here, and we're going to be happier for it. He wants to cut $1 trillion, that $1.8 trillion deficit you talked about, Elizabeth. wants to cut it to $1 trillion at the start of the fiscal year or by the end in September 26th. He said that could mean inflation disappears because we have enough growth to cover that $1 trillion in extra debt.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.